Well, let's take a look at how you might make a new symbol in gCADPlus, a new symbol for, let's say, a plant species. I'd recommend clicking File and New and just accept the default. And I'm in the habit of putting a circle down, so I pick Circle, Center Radius, and just click arbitrarily in the screen, and then I will pull out and set a canopy diameter. Let's use 500 if we were in the metric environment, and that will give us a canopy diameter of 1 meter. And if we were in the imperial environment, we'd probably choose a radius of 1.5. Well, I do think it's important to pay some attention to the properties box at this stage. Make sure that colour is set by layer, that you're on layer 0, and line type scale is 1, line weight by layer. We don't want to have some unusual settings in the properties box because they're going to be applied to whatever we draw next. So I'm going to use a polyline now and draw very roughly around the circumference of that circle that we put in. And what I'm trying to do is to get us in a position where we can make some sort of symbol that has a little more flair and flexibility and a more organic look than just a circle. So let's get rid of that circle. We know now, and let's apply some curve fitting. We now know that that shape there is the beginning of our new symbol and shows approximately a canopy diameter of 1 meter. Well, now remembering that this symbol will be used in a design printed on a white background. So what I'm going to do now is just swing to a white background, and I'm going to set the colour of the polyline, remembering this is going to be the back of the symbol, and we'd like to have it filled with a colour. So I'm going to choose the colour by clicking in the drop-down list there, and I'll go to True Colour, and this is going to be the very back of the symbol, and I'll click some sort of greeny yellow colour, but I'll make it quite pale, and we can adjust this later if we want. But notice here's the combination of red, green and blue, 3 pairs of coordinates, and we'll say OK. And what we then can do is close it. So it's closed, and now we'll fill it. And there we have the background to our symbol. Well, my next step might well be to add some decoration to the symbol. And I'll add some polylines and add them like so, just trying to give some increased character to the design, to the symbol. Now you might want to give those lines their own colour, and a quick way to do that is to set up a crossing window like so. Regen first, now set up a crossing window. Use the Shift key to pick our filled polyline at the back, and that just leaves those lines set. So we could set some sort of colour appropriate to branches, say something a darker colour like so. We could set line weights if we wanted, so we've now got a slightly darker and thicker line. So there's the beginning of our symbol. For some extra interest, perhaps you could even change the colour of selected lines in the group. Instead of colour 44, let's lighten them up a little. And that gives us just a little more, we can call it flair if we want. And let's pick an even lighter colour than that. Say young branches might be represented like so. So I've added a little more decoration to our symbol. I've used a series of polylines, drawn them in, matched their properties up so that they sit. Let me just draw one more, and I'll draw it through this area here, come out a little and close it. Then I'll use the Match Properties tool to pick up the properties of that one and match it to this one here. I might want to bring that line there to the front, and I'm relatively happy with that as a symbol. Now I want to put the symbol somewhere where I can use it in other design work. If you look at Library, Plants and My Symbols, and if we move up just a little and look in the My Symbols area, there's nothing in there. We go File and Save As, and we go into the My Symbols folder and go My New Symbol 01, and we can save it. One other thing I think will help us is that if we pick everything and move the center of the symbol to coordinate 0, 0, that will help us by it effectively defines a base point, so that when we bring the symbol in future, it will sit with a grip right in the center. So in theory now, in this copy of gCADPlus, we should be able to start a brand new drawing, navigate to the My Symbol folder and pick up this symbol. So let's try it. Well, what I will do is I'll close this drawing. Remember, we've saved it, we hope. So let's go File and New, and we should be able to go to Library, Plants, My Symbols. There should be the one that we just did, My New Symbol. There's the snapshot, and we open it up, insert it into the drawing and place it down. So there we are. If we click it, notice the little handle is in the center of the symbol, or the grip, and so we're able to use this along with other standard symbols. Let's go to the standard ones. We'll pick, say, this one and bring it into the drawing. And there we are. So both symbols are working for us. Let's have a look at View and Background Color, and both, I think, work reasonably well. We have a base point in the center because we moved it to 0, 0. So it's a separate drawing, just as the standard block is a separate drawing. And if we go into the blocks folder, we can look at these blocks, and I've ticked display the base point, and display the base point there. It's right in the center. So that new symbol's behaving very nicely, and we can use it in every future piece of work. The only caution is that if you do upgrade your copy of gCADPlus, you really do need to back up those symbols that you made yourself. They actually don't have to be in the My Symbols folder. You can make your own folder, put them in there, and then point gCADPlus to that folder. But for the moment, this works nicely. Well, it's very important to distinguish between making blocks, symbols, in the way that we've just done, and the ability of gCADPlus to make a symbol in an existing drawing. You could, for the sake of argument, have developed a symbol such as this, and you might have other symbols as part of your design work. So let's just drop another symbol in. And I'll just zoom out a little, and I'll bring in another one. Scroll down through here. So now two of the symbols, that one and this one, have come from the standard gCADPlus block library. And let's imagine that we wanted to turn this series of polylines, in fact, into a block. We can do it in a drawing by saying create a block, and we can say my new symbol 02, and we can say convert it into a block. So now it behaves in this drawing as a block. Its base point is not quite right, but let's fix that up. We can edit the block, and there's the base point there. So we could pick the existing entities and just move them and make them sit over the base point, close the block editor, and now when we pick it, you can see we've now got a convenient and proper base point. Well, if we took that new symbol, copied it to the clipboard, started a brand new drawing, and pasted it from the clipboard, and we'll make an insertion point of 0, 0, and then zoomed extents. We would, or we might, let's put our background colour to white, we'd be a little tempted to go File and Save As and put that in here as my new symbol 02. And we'll save. And I'll close from there and close again from here. And we'll go back to that drawing we've been working on. So if we go to Library, Plants, and My Symbols, we can pick my new symbol 02 and bring it in. And we get this warning, block my new symbol 02 references itself. And that's because the file name is called my new symbol 02, and unlike the earlier one that we just made, it has a block of the same name within it. So let's just open my new symbol 02, and if we go across here to the blocks, can you see that block's inside it? So in order to make it work properly, so it's called a nested block, but this is worse because this is a drawing called my new symbol 02, and inside it has got a block called my new symbol 02. gCADPlus understandably gets confused. The way to deal with it is to explode, break the block up, go across here, and delete the block from the drawing. Any of these new symbols that we make and we want to bring in by the system that we've outlined here, we really do need to make sure that they don't have nested blocks, a block within a block. So we'll save the changes, and now let's go to Library, Plants, My Symbols, and we should be able to bring this one in without any incident. And in it comes our only problem is that the base point isn't working as we want. So that one's been exploded. Get rid of that one. So we've got 3 blocks now in the drawing. One of them misbehaving just slightly. So we need to change its base point. Just move everything like we did before. And then close the block editor. So we made 2 new blocks, this one and this one. They work very well, and they're parked in our own library, My Symbols library.